we talked about the fact that there were 3,500 jihadi terrorist suspects in this country, and we were talking about what on earth do we do about this number of people. And one of the questions I teased was, well, why was this horrendous Manchester bomber, the loser from Manchester, why was he not on that list of 3,500? And we did sort of ask, I wonder how many more people there are. Well, we didn't have to wait very long until the bombshell hit us on Saturday morning in the newspapers. The number of people who are subjects of interest, which means they're on a list that says they are either directly associated with dangerous terrorist suspects, or they have at some point in time been looked at and investigated, which of course includes this Abedi character, that the number is 23,000. I don't know how you felt on Saturday morning when you heard that figure. I felt profoundly depressed, and I'm asking you tonight, given that we have a general election just 11 days away, which leader would you most trust with the future security of this country? Now, one of the reasons I felt depressed about it is I have been talking about this subject for some time. In fact, here was my warning about homegrown jihadism back in 2015.
Look, we've been very, very good over the last decade and more about worrying what's happening in the Middle East and North Africa and Afghanistan. We've been very busy intervening in all these places, and we've been almost negligent in the growth of jihadism within our own communities. And when I said last year, to the usual howls of outrage, when I said last year that we now have a fifth column living inside our own countries, they carry our passports, they speak our language, and they hate us. They want to kill us. They want to overthrow our culture, our constitution, our whole way of life. My own view is we should worry a bit more about what's happening within our countries than what is happening across the rest of the world.
Well, I said that back in 2015, but I originally started in 2014 campaigning hard on this point, that yes, of course, I've always talked about the risks of unfettered immigration, of not knowing who's coming into the country, of not being able to security check who come from potentially dangerous parts of the world. But that is only part of the problem. The other part of the problem is homegrown jihadism. And yeah, sure, the internet plays a role in this, and some schools play a role in this, and certainly prisons play a role in this. But of course, mosques also do play a role in this.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.